Hey everybody, I'm Anna. I've been coming here the last few weeks, and a couple weeks ago I did a set about my Instagram username, and this week I got a follow request, and I was so excited. I thought, oh my gosh, a fan. And I opened it up, and it was from a fitness coach. And, you know, obviously this is the time of year where they got to build up their clientele before January, and I understand that, but we're too far into this year for me to make any changes, so we're just going to stroll through the holidays and into the cookies. So, but something I really like to do is watch true crime. And the thing about true crime these days is that there's so much that you can choose from. There's Netflix, there's HBO, YouTube, podcasts, and they're all very long and multiple parts, several hours, and have all this emotion and background and detail. You know, you can get all the way to the end of it, in the last 5 minutes they're like, and they never caught the killer. And you're like, what? I just spent this whole time watching that for nothing. And so I really think that every true crime documentary at the front should have a disclaimer that says they've never caught the killer and the person is still missing. I would be like, okay, cool, I'm going to skip that. Save myself some time. But my my favorite thing is the laughs I get while I'm here. It makes me laugh, and then I get distracted. But I think my favorite true crime to watch is Forensic Files. And if you guys have never heard of Forensic Files, it's this beautiful show that is only 25 minutes long. It's from the 90s, early 2000s, so it's very nostalgic, with like big glasses and bad fashion and makeup. And all the episodes are only 25 minutes. There's a clear beginning and end. They always catch the killer, or the person is always found. All the facts are there, no emotions. Very nice, perfect for me. And you know, if you're walking on the treadmill, it's like the perfect amount of time. Watch an episode and then sit down, because that's a lot of walking. So, one of my favorite Forensic Files episodes, which I know it's weird to have a favorite true crime, but you know, when you've watched as much as I have, that happens. But it was this case about this guy named John List, which, to summarize it quickly for you, he killed his whole family, changed his name, and fled to another state, and was on the run for 18 years until he was caught. And the important thing about this was that he was an accountant, and I'm also an accountant, if you haven't seen me from previous weeks. And the thing about, you could say that he went postal, you know, but us accountants, we just go Excel. And if you don't know who John List is, you can VLOOK him up. See, people on the internet will laugh at that, my friends who are accountants will laugh later. But the way they ended up catching this guy was hilarious, because if you don't know, accountants were pretty predictable creatures of habit, and they hadn't been able to find him in all these years. And so America's Most Wanted wanted to do an episode of him. And at the end of every episode, they show a current picture of the person they're trying to find, obviously. But they hadn't had a photo of this guy in 20 years. And so they were like, okay, we're going to make a clay bust of this guy. And we're going to try to imagine what he would have looked like 20 years later from the photo that they had. And so they were like, okay, well, he's an accountant, so he's still going to be wearing suits, right? And he's going to have age, because accounting really ages you and is a hard career. And being on the run also ages you. And so through all of the forensic artistry and psychology, they were able to very exactly get this guy looking so similar to himself that when they aired the episode, they got a call that very same night that they found him. The people recognized him immediately, even down to the glasses he was wearing. The glasses they put on his clay bust were the exact same glasses he was wearing when they arrested him. Which just goes to show you that us accountants, you know, we're really good at being predictable and, you know, figuring out the details of things, but we're not good at changing our lifestyle. So in the end, that's what caught him. And when they arrested him, the bust was almost indistinguishable from the way he was. He was still an accountant. He was still a Lutheran. He was still, he got remarried, lived in 2 different states, under the world's most second-born name, Bob Clark. His original name was John List, and he's like, how can I make this worse? Bob Clark. So that was his name. And I just thought that episode was really interesting. You can go look up all So, but there are some lessons that I've learned from watching Forensic Files over the years, and that is that you can play bingo while you watch it because they say the same words over and over, like luminol. And if you don't know what luminol is, you spray it and it makes blood show up under black light among other bodily fluids. So don't spray that in a hotel room if you want to remain innocent. The second lesson is that, if you and your husband have been having problems and he suddenly wants to start making all your meals and bringing you coffee on the couch and you're like, oh, maybe he's really listening, he's internalizing what I'm saying, he's being so kind, nice gesture. And you're like, oh, he's so sweet. He's not. There's arsenic in that coffee, okay? I could probably do like 20 sets about true crime, but there's only so long I can stand up here before you start putting something in my drink. So I'm going to bid my adieu to you guys. Thank you.